Hey there! Ever wondered what Earth would look like if it had majestic rings like Saturn? Picture it. Instead of just a pale blue dot in space, Earth would glow with glittering arcs of ice, rock, and dust, completely changing how we see the night sky and even how we live on the planet. First, let's dive into the science. Saturn's rings are made of countless particles of ice and rock, varying in size from tiny grains to massive chunks. For Earth to obtain rings, a colossal event, like a moon being torn to bits by gravitational forces, would have to occur. The result? A beautiful, shimmering halo of debris encircling the Earth, likely aligning with its equator. But get this, unlike Saturn, with its wide-open view, Earth's new rings wouldn't just sit up there unnoticed. They'd play a dramatic role in our everyday lives. For starters, they'd bring a spectacular show to our skies. People near the equator would have a direct connection to the rings, seeing them as vividly glowing arcs both during the day and at night. Just imagine looking up and seeing swirls of pink, gold, and silver cutting across the heavens, like a celestial rainbow frozen in time. However, life with rings wouldn't just be about stunning Instagram-worthy photos. These rings would actually impact Earth's environment, and even how we navigate the cosmos. Let me explain. The rings would cast shadows on Earth, and those shadows could change our weather patterns. Some areas would cool down slightly under constant shade. Think of it as nature's own sunblock. But not always in a good way. Crops in certain regions might struggle without enough direct sunlight, and ecosystems could face some real challenges adjusting. Next, how might the rings change our culture and perspective on life? Humans have always been inspired by the sky, from navigating by the constellations to creating mythology and art. Earth's rings would add an entirely new chapter to our story. They'd likely become a focus in our folklore, science fiction, and even architecture. Can you imagine buildings designed to mirror the curves of Earth's rings? Or space agencies making the rings a top tourist destination for orbital sightseeing? But hold on, how stable would these rings even be? Let's talk physics. Earth's gravity would tug on these rings constantly. Plus, they'd have to contend with atmospheric drag because Earth is much closer to the Sun than Saturn. This means parts of the ring debris might eventually spiral down toward us, burning up as meteors and treating us to dazzling firework-like displays. Stunning, but potentially hazardous. Now, here's an interesting question. How would space exploration and satellites adapt? Think about it. Right now, we launch satellites without much competition from debris. But with enormous rings in orbit, placing satellites could turn into a game of cosmic dodgeball. We'd have to track every fragment of those rings to avoid collisions, making technology like GPS, communications, and even moon missions much more complicated than they are today. Yet the rings wouldn't just create obstacles. They could also be an untapped resource. Imagine mining the rings for water ice or valuable minerals. They might fuel space exploration, or even power futuristic technologies here on Earth. Space entrepreneurs could launch entire industries centered around these rings. Okay, let's wrap it up. Earth's rings would be dazzling, no doubt, turning our planet into a jewel among the stars. But the environmental, cultural, and technological changes they'd bring, those would make life very different from what we're used to. From altering weather and inspiring generations of storytellers to reshaping space exploration, Earth's new rings would truly transform our world. Got another crazy question for me? Drop it below, starting with question in brackets, and let's dive in.